Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Krista Gallagher-Colt. As one of the volunteer co-chairs for Prospect Development 2015, I would like to welcome you to today's webcast, Volunteer Training. We have lots of volunteer leaders on the call today. We have the overall Prospect Development 2015 chair, as well as the chairs for the hospitality table, Apra Talks, and the volunteer chairs. So hopefully we'll be able to provide you with some good information and answer all of your questions. First of all, I wanted to thank you so much for volunteering for the conference. Without you, the conference would not run nearly as smoothly. So thank you for volunteering, and thank you for spending part of your day today with us. We're so grateful that you stepped up in this really important way. The conference wouldn't be possible without you. A few general volunteer guidelines. Please arrive for your scheduled shift. If for some reason you are not able to volunteer in your shift, please let one of the volunteer chairs know. Your presence is vital to the success of the conference. Make sure that you are friendly and welcoming, which I'm sure is natural for all of us. In many cases, your face will be the first thing that conference attendees see. If you don't know the answer to a question, you can ask another volunteer, the volunteer co-chairs, or APRA staff, who will be visible and around during the conference. The answers to many questions will be able to be found in the conference materials or in your on-site conference volunteer handout. And don't forget to pick up your conference volunteer ribbon at the registration desk when you arrive. You want to show others what a volunteer rock star you are. So for those of you working at the registration desk, registration volunteers will help APRA and temporary staff organize lines, greet attendees, hand out materials, and provide general support for the staff. Please check in with APRA staff when you arrive for your shift, and make sure that you arrive a couple of minutes early for your shift. Again, in this role, you are probably the first face that attendees will see at the conference, and this is especially true for new attendees who might be feeling nervous or apprehensive. So please make sure that you make them feel welcome. Registration hours are Tuesday from 3 to 6 p.m., Wednesday from 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m., Thursday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., Friday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. So now let's turn it over to the hospitality desk.
Hello, everyone. Hospitality this year is going to be amazing. The first thing you need to remember is always be incredibly friendly. Don't worry if you don't know the answer to a question. There'll be volunteers around that can either help. You are going to be directing people to, the most common questions are where certain rooms are, so direct them to the map or tell them where the rooms are. If they have questions about where to eat or places to go in the French Quarter, if you don't know the answer, there will be maps available at the hospitality desk. Also, there will be a concierge on the first floor that you can direct them to. They're always willing and able to help. General things that you need to do are suggest places to eat, direct them to the board, the message board, coordinate events, answering questions about scheduling, rooms, etc. It's really easy. Just you need to be there as a friendly face because the hospitality desk is generally the place that people go to ask questions. I can almost guarantee you the most common question will be, where's the restroom? It's very easy, very friendly, very relaxed. So if you have any questions, just ask any of the APRA staff or direct people to the concierge desk or the registration desk for further questions. And that's really it for hospitality. And now to Brian to talk about APRA Talks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Ursary. I'm one of the co-chairs for the APRA Talks this year at Prospect Development 2015. And I, on behalf of Amy, Carrier, and myself, I want to say thank you for volunteering for APRA Talks. So for the volunteers, we've got sort of two areas. There's going to be one for the talk volunteers. And for those of you who aren't familiar with APRA Talks, it's a roundtable networking event. We will have three very well-respected and renowned speakers. We'll be giving a short discussion and presentation on topics related to our field. This year we are doing change, specifically innovating change, and we're looking at it from being a change agent, from having change foisted upon you, and how the industry may be changing in the future. We've got 3 very exciting speakers lined up, and we're looking forward to that. For those of you who are going to be volunteers for the roundtable event, it's going to be an early morning. We're going to ask if you can arrive and check in with us at 7:15 that morning. You'll probably be doing a little bit of assisting with setup early on, and then once attendees start to arrive, you'll be guiding them toward tables at the front of the room. We ideally want to have everyone as close up to the front as possible. Once the speakers begin the presentations, we're going to ask that you start to roam about the room during the event and be available to answer questions about the roundtable game. If you were in Vegas last year, you knew we played a version of poker. So we've got some gamification for the tables during their opportunities to discuss the presentations. We're also going to ask if there is not a table host at the table, if you can jump in and serve as a table host if no one else at the table wants to do this. We do have detailed instructions that's going to be available on the tables for the table hosts. And this year, the table hosts are going to be assigned randomly. What we're actually going to be doing is taping masks to the underside of one of the chairs at a table. So whoever sits in the chair with the mask is sort of randomly assigned to be the table host. They don't have to do it, and if they choose not to, then we'll have you as one of the volunteers to either step in and host the table, or someone else at the table can do that. Specifically, and what will be new for this year, is we want you to remind the attendees that we are giving the opportunity for the conversations to continue going. So after the Apra Talk session, there will be a room available in the Louisiana Gallery 4 for people to go and continue their discussions with their colleagues and also with the presenters, as they will all be attending after the session in that room. The other volunteer role for the Apra Talks is a roaming tweeter. And so your task is basically to keep the Twitterverse a twit, if you will, with Apra Prospect 15. We're going to ask that if you are a volunteer for a roaming tweeter to arrive about 8:15. We're not going to necessarily need you to check in. During the presentation, just things that catch your interest and things that make you think, or if you have an idea related to one of the topics, please tweet that out. After the sessions, when we're sort of doing the networking and the open discussion, excuse me, just sort of roam around the room, tweet out questions that are at the tables. If you're overhearing conversations and comments and ideas that are meaningful or that strike you as something that you want to share, please feel free to tweet those out. And engage yourself with the table hosts and the tables. Ask them for ideas. Ask them if there's been anything that specifically they would want to take away from the presentations. And with that, I pretty much think I've covered the Apra Talks. I'm going to turn it back over to Krista.
Great. Well, thanks. We threw a lot of information at you pretty quickly. Are there questions about any of the roles that we've gone over or any of the specifics?
Currently, we have no questions at this time, but as a reminder to our audience, if you would like to submit any questions, please do so by typing into the question and answer box located on your toolbar. Simply type a question and hit send. As time permits, we will go ahead and get to your question. So let's give everyone about 30 seconds to submit any questions they have.
Okay, well, hearing no questions, if you have questions during the conference, feel free to contact either Lee Peterson or myself. Our cell phone numbers are here, as well as our photos, so if you see us roaming around, feel free to reach out to us, grab us, or text or call us with questions. The recording of this webinar will also be sent out afterwards, so if you have additional questions after you have heard us a second time, feel free to direct them to us. So thank you all so much.
We did have a few questions, sorry, Lee, that did come in.
Okay.
You know, one of these I'll go ahead and answer. We had, out of curiosity, do we know how many colleagues are attending this year? Currently, our registrations are trending up to, we're expecting around 1,000 people to be there, which would be similar numbers compared to last year. I think that's all the questions that we have at this time.
Great. Well, again, if you have questions during the conference or before the conference, please feel free to reach out to any of us. So thank you all for participating in the webcast. Thank you to all of our chairs who were able to be online and help give a little bit more guidance to your roles. And thank you all for attending the event today. And really, again, thank you so much for volunteering. Your commitment to APRA and to the conference is greatly appreciated. And again, the conference would not be possible without you. So please be sure to complete the evaluation of today's event, which you will receive via email shortly. Your feedback and input are important and appreciated as we further develop our volunteer training. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you in the Big Easy next week. Goodbye.